If you work in quality control at a candy factory, you know strict safety regulations come with the job. It's why you partner with Grainger. Grainger helps you find the high-quality and compliant products your business needs to inspect, detect, and help correct issues. And the sweetest part is, everyone gets a product that's as safe to eat as it is delicious. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You're listening to the Business Blueprint on Good Morning Gwinnett, where host Audrey Bell Kearney shares practical business ideas for aspiring entrepreneurs. Streaming Monday through Thursday at 10 a.m., this show is all about helping people start businesses for $500 or less. Audrey breaks down simple, affordable ways to turn ideas into income, because success starts with smart, strategic moves. Get ready to take action and build something great.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, all my Gwinnetians out there in Gwinnett land and all of my friends around the world. It's a beautiful day here in Gwinnett County, 56 degrees, going up to a high of lovely 78. It's going to be beautiful. Hope you guys are having a wonderful start to your day. I am. It is a beautiful day, and I'm happy to be able to start here with you today. Yeah, so today I got a good one for you. This is one that I'm contemplating doing, so I'm sharing it with you. Normally I don't share my ideas, not the ones that I plan on doing, which is a lot, but then I share a lot. But this is a really good one. And today I'm talking about how to start an educational mobile app without knowing how to code. So I'm trying to determine if I want to continue down the series of how to start these things without coding. I do a lot of stuff without knowing how to write a line of code. Like I don't know how to write. Let me tell you, that's not true. I do know how to center something with code. Like I know how to put in the center. So if I'm putting something on the website and I need it centered, I know how to center it. So you have to write in like if you can't center it from like the centering little button on the website, which a lot of times when I'm writing, when I got a code that I'm embedding in my website, I can't do that. I have to put it in HTML so it'll center properly. So when you look at it, it's centered properly. I can't do that. Other than that, yeah, that's about it. That's the extent of my coding. But here's what's exciting right now, and I keep talking about this because I'm excited. You don't even need to know how to code. You need to know how to. You need to. Well, that's not true. It depends on what you're doing, right? You need to understand coding, at least understand it, because the tools right now, the AI tools right now are really good. You can go in there and type in what you want, and it'll build you something in 30 seconds, like literally. Like you want to build a website, and I give you a prime example. Bolt is Bolt.new. They're not paying me anything. I'm just telling you because I have a subscription to the site. You can go into Bolt.new and you can tell it you want to create a mobile app and tell them what the app is about, and it's going to create all the code for you. And then you can deploy the app somewhere that's going to be hosted. It is really that simple, y'all. It sounds simple, and it is simple, and it's very cost effective. Like I talked about Bolt before. I think the first time I did it, I spent $40, and that's because I was really new. I didn't know what I was doing, and I didn't know that the prompt engineering is for real. Like it's the truth. The prompt needs to be so specific till when you put it in, you don't have to make a bunch of changes. I didn't do that. So when I put it in, because it wasn't so super specific, it had to keep rewriting the code. And every time it would write the code, it would take money out of my bank. Right. So you put in this, I paid $20. I think it gave me either a million tokens or 10 million. I forgot which it was, but I paid $20. I got all these tokens. I'm like, great, I can just sit here and run, figure out how to do this. Well, it ate up my money. And then I had to go back and pay another $20. So that's why I said $40. But outside of that, it is a phenomenal tool, right? Now, is there a learning curve? Absolutely, there is. There's a learning curve because what kind of took me out was when I had to connect it to a platform called Supabase. Supabase is where you collect data and store data for people, and that was another fee by itself. And I want to say that was like I think that was $40 too. So it is a little bit of a learning curve. But here's the thing. For me, I charge $3,500 to create simple apps. If it's something simple that I can get done in a month, it's a $3,500 charge. And then it's, $350 a month for hosting the app, right? But that's pretty much what I charge. But it's simple. It's not nothing super intricate. I can get it done in a month, and then you got to pay $350 for the hosting because for the maintenance. And so let me just say this. If you're thinking about doing this, there's some things you have to understand. If you're going to do it yourself, you're going to save a lot more money, way more money, but you're going to have to learn, right? Now you may be able to find somebody to say, okay, I need you to create this for me. If you have the budget for that, then go for that, because there are people out there who can get it done in 30 days just like me. But they're gonna probably charge a little bit more money, but they can get it done in 30 days. I'm not advertising that I create apps. That's not what I'm doing. What I'm doing is giving you the opportunity to look at how you can use this in an educational business, right? So for those of you who don't know, around the world, our educational system has been, I don't know what it's doing. It's a mess, like everything else in the United States right now. But the one thing that I thought about was, especially as they are trying to erase the Black history, like they're trying to erase Black history in America. Go figure. Black folks built America, but they're trying to erase our history. And so I started to think about ways to preserve our history, and the first thing I thought about was a mobile app. And now, that being said, it's going to take a lot more than me just thinking about it. It's going to take a lot of work. I'm not trying to say that this is going to be easy, because it's not. Because just like anything else, it's a business, right? So if you're thinking about starting an educational app, you can pick a niche in the educational space. You can pick an age group in the educational space. What I like about mobile apps right now is that they're on your phone. They're on the phone, and people can just download your app from the app store. If it's a free app, it's real simple. If it's a paid app, it may be a little bit more intricate. But here's the thing: they can download the app, put it directly on their phone, and as they're scrolling through, I have hundreds of apps on my phone. My phone looks ridiculous. Like I look at it like I need to do. I literally probably. Let me count the pages of apps. Let me count my app pages. This is how ridiculous it is. I'm gonna count you how many pages. I have an iPhone. I have an iPhone Pro, I think, an iPhone Max or something. I don't have a real big one, but I have the one right under that. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 9 pages of apps on my phone. That's how many apps I have on my phone. So and that's taking up a lot of memory. But I have 9 pages of apps on my phone. So let's put that into some perspective. So each page has 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. 24. So 24 times 9, 20. So I have 9 pages of app. Then you got 24 times, this is how crazy this is. 24 times 9. Yeah, I'm doing it on the calculator. 216 apps on my phone. 216. All right. Why am I sharing this with you? I'm sharing this with you because I download apps of things that I don't want to miss information from. If you create an educational app for a market, people who like the app and find value in that will download it to their phones. I don't care how many apps they have on their phone. If it's going to bring value to them and their families, they're going to put it on their phone. They're going to leave it there. And when you get ready to send a push notification, guess what? They're going to get it. Now, you may be thinking, Audrey, I don't know how to do no code. You don't need to know how to do no code. What you need to know how to do is understand the platforms that create no code. And there are a bunch of ways for you to do this. So Adalo is a platform that you can learn. Now, I'm going to tell you that has a learning curve. I tried Adalo and I'm a little bit patient, but I'm like, I don't know if I feel like learning this or not. Because I already know how to create. I already know how to create apps. Kind of basically with no code, kind of sort of. It's kind of sort of because I just created an app. It had a lot of code, a lot of code because I built it in that way. But I wanted specific things in the app. But Adalo, if you spend some time learning how to use Adalo, it'll create a mobile app for you, and it has templates. If you can do things with the templates. Templates are there to give you a guide. Normally they don't look that great. So if you want to start off doing this for yourself, you can go to Adalo. It's Adalo. They're not paying me either. They should be. I want to say it's probably $49 a month, right? You get to upload your app to the Android store and the Apple store. You can sit there and learn how to use it and create it. That's all day long under $500. Now, here's the thing that's going to get you. Who are you going to target with the app? And it's a booming market right now. The industry for apps right now is like $58 billion. That's how crazy this is. Like, I remember when apps first came out, it was booming because there were no apps on your phone. You had like a few. Then people started developing apps and it went crazy. Then it slacked off. Like, it kind of got real quiet. And it was like, oh, okay, there's an app. It got real quiet. Now, it got quiet, but people were still making money. Now, because of these tools, everybody's in an uproar again because you can create a, you sit down and learn, you can create the app. It's a learning curve, and that's just the beginning. The real challenge becomes, how do you market it? Before you can even get to that point, who are you making this app for? Is it adult learners? Is it elementary learners? Is it college learners? Is it high school learners? Who is it for? Is it senior learners? Who's your app for? That's the first thing. You have to figure out who it's for. Then you got to figure out what's going to be in the app. What are you teaching? Are you teaching math? Are you teaching science? Are you teaching coding? What are you teaching in the app? That's the next thing, right? And then after you do that, you have to figure out what the content is like. Now, everything I just said is still under $500. What it's going to take you is some time to learn the platforms. You can check out Adalo. You could check out Bolt.new. Bolt.new is really quick on the front end, but you have to learn it so you can understand the back end. See, the front end is always easy to do because it's just like, how do you make it look pretty? It's almost like putting up a website. That part is easy. It's the back side of the app that's normally challenging for folks. And if you don't know how to code, that becomes a problem. Now, you can sit down with ChatGPT, it'll teach you how to code. Like, it's amazing, but you got to sit there and learn. You can go to udemy.com and learn how to code. Or you can go to udemy.com and find a software that create an app and learn it. And then come back and do it. You can do all of these things yourself. The reason people don't take the time to do that is because they really don't feel like doing it. They want to skip the line, so they hire people to do it. But for people like me, who's a quick learner, because I am, and I recognize that that's a God given gift, right? That I can learn really quick and then go back and implement. It's easy for me. And I have said to people, "Oh, it's easy," and they're like, "Well, it's easy for you." Like, the things that I think are easy, people look at me like, "Are you nuts? That is not easy." Like, there's a platform, and I've probably talked about this before, called Pickaxe, right? I love Pickaxe. I went on there and I was like, "This is amazing." I created like this little, it's called Debt Crusher. Go to debtcrusher.pro. You'll see what I created. I created this bot called Debt Crusher, right? I did it like in 7 days, and a lot of that was really trying to get my artwork right. I did it in like 7 days. I was so excited. So I was going to teach people how to do it, right? So I put this class up. I'm teaching it for free. And people are sitting there looking at me like, what is she talking about? And I'm looking at them like, they can't be confused about this, right? They were. And then they never showed up again to the next class. And I was like, is it the way I teach? Well, it couldn't have been that. I think it's just that people don't have the mindset to sit and learn. And that's not a bad thing. They just don't. Like, I don't want to cook. There are people who will spend hours and hours and hours cooking. There are people who will spend hours and hours and hours cleaning. Not me. I want to clean up once for the week, and that's it. Don't mess up nothing. Same thing about when you come to stuff like this. You may say, "Audrey, I know I can sit down and learn it. I don't want to." And that's cool. Then you don't have to listen to this. But the person who's saying, "Okay, Audrey, I'm patient. I'm a quick learner. I'm going to learn this thing." Then here you go. You sit down with a Bolt.new or an Adalo, right? And you learn how to do it. There is another one called Lovable. Now, it's just like Bolt, but I heard it's a lot. It gives you a lot more than Bolt. Bolt gives you a lot. I'm thinking like Bolt is the ish, right? But they say Lovable is just as good. I haven't used Lovable before. I used Replicate, and I did like Replicate. The only thing, something about Replicate I didn't like, which made me go to Bolt. Anyway, I know I'm getting ahead of myself and I'm talking tech. You go to Adalo. I'm gonna send you to Adalo. Go to Adalo. It has templates. It's very cost effective. You just got to learn how to use it. Don't even go to Bolt, because Bolt, the front end is going to look amazing, but you got to understand how to connect the back end with Supabase and all that stuff. Don't go to Bolt. Go straight to Adalo. Go to Adalo and learn how to do it. But before you get there, decide on which niche you want to be in. Who are you trying to support? What problems are they having? Are you trying to create a tutoring app, right? What is it going to be? A language tutoring app? That's an educational app. Are you going to create a science app? Are you going to create an app just for girls in STEM? What are you going to create? You know what I'm saying? So that's what you got to think about. All right. So the market is big. It's 58.8 billion that's going to hit by the end of this year, which is great. You got spaces that need it. Teachers are overworked. Some of them are doing a horrible job because they're overworked and they have to teach so many kids. And think about this, it's a whole bunch of different personalities. So not only are you teaching, you're not just teaching one set of kids. Every period, the bell rings and the period change. You got a new set of 21 coming in with a whole new set of personalities, and you're already exhausted from the first set. I'm just saying. My brother used to tell me, you should be a teacher. I absolutely should not, because I know my limitations, and being a teacher, I would have them. Yeah. Anyway, the teachers are worn out. The parents are worn out. The kids need a way to learn other than just being on TikTok, Instagram all day long, because that's where they are. Twitch, playing games. Create something that they can use, they can learn from. So you think about early childhood education. That is a huge market. Babies are being born. The parents want them to learn the ABCs. Kids love music. So if you put any kind of tune to ABCs, they're going to dance and learn. They just are. Go look at YouTube. They got, I told my daughter yesterday, I said, look, I know what you're trying to do right now, but I'm telling you, take a minute and look at this software and then go look at YouTube channels for these kids. She's like, I know, I'm looking at them. I'm like, wow, they making money with that channel. Not only they making money, they're making millions. So you can put that inside of an app, put it on a phone. My granddaughter is 6 years old. She has an iPhone. She's been had it since she was 4. It's just the way of life. She FaceTimes me all the time, and she has app. Now her mother has like some kind of privacy security thing on there, so she can only get to certain channels. But here's the thing: if your app is the app, the parents don't mind putting it on the phone. And here's the other thing about running an app: if you do really well with designing an app, you're gonna pay about, I'm gonna say, $100 on the front end, right? And then monthly you're gonna pay about $350. If you can sell that app in the app store for like $6.99. Parent $5.99. People are like, oh, it's only $5.99, because that's how people feel about $5.99. It's only $5.99. If you get enough $5.99s, your app is paid for. You ain't got to worry about coming out of pocket with the $350 a month for the back end and the $100 for the front end. You don't got to worry about that. So that's $450 a month. You don't have to worry about that, because the app is paying for itself at that point. Everything after that is going to be profit. Apple is going to take their money. So just know, Apple going to take a percentage of your sales if you sell it in the App Store. And I would suggest you do that, because if you're going to do in-app purchases inside of the app, it's against Apple's rules to have apps that are free on the App Store, but you selling stuff inside. So that's like that fine print that you don't normally see. Yeah. So if you're gonna start making money with the app, charge a small fee right out the gate, $2.99. Apple gonna take their 99 cents, you take the rest, and now you can sell what you want to sell. So you got early childhood education, you got K through 12 learning, you got language learning, you got exam prep, SATs and MCATs and all that stuff. You got that. And then you got people who want to do some continual education. Here's another thing you can think about, and I'm doing this for the chamber. You can set up an adult education, continuing education, probably partner with some of the local colleges, create a certification program based on something that you know about. So let's say you are really good at HR. You can have a whole HR academy online, an entire HR academy, where people can get certified through your academy, right? And it'll be, let's say your academy is called Good Sam's HR Academy. I'm just making this up. Good Sam's HR Academy, where HR professionals come to learn to be certified, right? You can take that and create your own certification. And yes, you can do that. Like if you create courses that are good courses in this you're doing or the industry, you create a certification, and when people go through your training on your platform, they get certified under your training, under your platform. And I'm doing that for the Gwinnett Women's Chamber right now. AI workforce development is one of the things that we're big on, and so I'm creating courses to go up under the AI that people can get certified for, and that will be launching the first April 21st, I think it is. The academy will officially be open April 21st. So, it's like, think outside of the box. If you are good with finances, let's say you're really good with Outlook, not Outlook, QuickBook, right? You want to like teach QuickBook classes, and you just want your app to be based on nothing but QuickBook Academy. That's it. And you go in there and you create all of these, put all these tools in there for QuickBooks. But here's the thing about that. Let's say you work with tax preparers and accountants. There are some rules and regulations that they need to stay up on. If they're subscribed to your app because they use QuickBooks, they need to know what those rules and regulations are, because they may change year to year. Your app is going to make sure that they stay in the know what's going on in their industry without them having to go online and look for it, because you're gonna every time something new happens in that space, you're gonna send a push notification to everybody who's downloaded the app, say, hey, this is what's happening right now. This is what the government is saying you need to be aware of right now. And they're going to thank you for the $9.99 that they're paying every month because you keep them on point about what's happening in their industry. You understand what I'm saying? So think outside of the box. That's education. And not only that, what's new with QuickBooks? That could be a constant. You can do a newsletter. It's amazing what you can do with these apps. Amazing. And every time I think about the one I just created is really cool. Is it going to go anywhere? I don't know. I don't have a clue. However, I'm creating another one just for me. And I know that one is going to go somewhere because it's just me. And I don't have time to wait. So I'm like, okay, that one is finished. I'm about to get it started. Like today. Like I finished one. I got to hear back from the people that's a part of it. When they get back to me, we'll figure out what we're going to do. In the meantime, I'm about to create one for my business. Well, I used to have one for Good Morning Gwinnett. I didn't like it though. I didn't like the way it was laid out. I didn't like it. The one I'm about to create now is going to be the bomb for Good Morning Gwinnett. All right, let's look at business models. All right. So, what I mean by business models? Is it a free? Is it a freemium? Is it just a subscription? Are you going to have in-app purchases? Are you going to have sponsorships? Are you going to have courses? All right, so let's talk about this for a second. A freemium model means that when they come to the site, when they come to your app, when they download the app to their phone, there's something that they get for free. But when they want the other thing that you're offering, they have to pay for that. So you give them maybe a blog up front for free. I created an app for a young lady. On her app, there is the free stuff. The free stuff is she has a daily quote that's free. She has the word of the day that's free, right? But if you want to get into the community inside of her app, that's not free. You got to pay for that. So she got a bunch of free stuff on the front end that you can get value from. Like you can come there, you can be motivated because there's a quote that's going out every morning. There's a new song, a new meditation, not a new song, but a new quote that's going out, a new inspiration word for the day that's going out. That's free. That's on the front. And that's how she started she started a group like that. And she started by putting out the inspiration for the day, like the word of the day, which was nice. And people loved it. And she was sending it by text messages, right? But something happened to her phone and everybody stopped getting it. So we thought something had happened to her because she sent it out religiously. That's when she realized I need an app for that. So now her motivational messages that she put, now she literally do this herself. Like she said, God gives it to her in the morning time, she puts it out. So she's gonna be the one going inside of the app every morning and dropping that for free. But on the back end, she has coaching and she has prayers and all this other stuff. That's on the back end that you can't see because that's on the paid. That's called a freemium model. So you get free on the front, but then there's some private stuff that you got to pay for. That's the freemium model. Then you may say, I just want to be a straight up subscription model. I ain't giving away nothing free. When you go there, you got to pay. That is a subscription straight up. There's nothing free. Welcome or hello. That's about all you going to like. The one that I just created is so funny because I sent it to my daughter to take a look at. Like, take a look at what she thinks. So she loved it, right? And but it's really nice. It's a really nice app. But everywhere she clicked on there, outside of the hello, this about us kind of thing, everywhere she clicked, right, you had to sign up. Now, right now, it's in test mode because it's not in the app stores yet. So she could sign in for free to go look into the back office and see all of the things that I built into it. And so she's like, yeah, everything had to sign up. Of course, because there is no freemium. That's a straight up subscription. You're going to get it will be some free stuff. I think the music may be free on the front end. It's something that's going to be free on the front end. But for the most part, it's a subscription. In-app purchases. If you have something inside of the app that you're selling, let's say for instance you got merch inside of the app, that's called an in-app purchases. If you have a ebook inside of the app, that's an in-app purchase, right? That's what in-app mean. People go inside your app and they buy something inside of the app. That's an in-app purchase. Ads and sponsorships. Now let me tell you what I like about this, and this is what I'm going to be doing with my app. If you get a lot of downloads for your app, people are going to start to pay attention. And when they start to pay attention, they're going to come to you and say, hey, can we run a sponsorship or ad inside of your app? Because we know that you got 50,000 downloads for that app that's talking specifically to the people that we want to get in front of. That's a key. It's specific. I live in Gwinnett County, right? There are a little bit, probably over 1.1 million people in Gwinnett County, or close to that, if it's not. Definitely a million, we know that. But I'm thinking it's probably more by now. I'm going to create an app for Good Morning Gwinnett, and my goal is to get as many people in that app as possible. And here's why, because I know that's like eyeballs. That's like you built an audience. If I can get my audience, my goal is to get 100,000 downloads to my app this year. That is a lot of people to be in front of. So if you got a restaurant and you're in Gwinnett County and you want to run a pizza special for Tuesday, guess what you do? You say, hey, Audrey, I need to push out an ad for today. I got a special pizza. I'm launching something new in the pizza parlor today. Guess what you do? You send me some money through Stripe. You send me the ad. I drop it in. I push it out. Just that simple. Just that simple. So you build up your apps, you build up your app downloads. So now you have this tool with this audience. Just like everything I do. Good Morning Gwinnett, I'm building an audience, a podcast audience. With the app for Good Morning Gwinnett, I'm building an app audience. With the YouTube channel, I'm building a YouTube channel audience. With the Instagram, I'm building an Instagram audience. Facebook audience. These are eyeballs. People want these eyeballs. They will pay you for that. All right. All right. All right, so we talked about your target audience and talked about the tools that you're going to use. Now, let's talk about some pros and cons. The expenses are there. It's really inexpensive to get started right now. Bolt started plan is like $29 a month. Supabase, they got a free tier, but there's also a paid tier. Your logo, you can go get that from Canva or Leonardo. The domain name, $12.17 from GoDaddy. If you're gonna do all the content yourself, I would say use some AI. You may spend $50 depending on what you're using. Like if you use, I use Leonardo and I use ChatGPT. Between the two of them, I think I paid $35. You know, you got to put it in the app store, so you got to become a developer and for Google and a developer for Apple. Apple is always the toughest. Google is pretty simple. It's $25 for life. Apple is $99 a year. And you have to renew that every year or else they take your app down. Your marketing budget for your app, you can start anywhere you want to with that. Like you can start for $100 and put it out there. All right, now let's talk about some pros and cons real quick. All right, the pros, it's a high demand for educational tools. It's high all around the world. It's passive income from subscriptions and sales. Now, it ain't really passive because you got to still be marketing. It's very scalable across multiple age groups. Like, it depends on what you're trying to do. Like, you can have one for parents and students. You can make it whatever you want to make it, is what I'm saying. It's scalable. And the no code tools, they're amazing. They're amazing. Those are your pros. Pros are in high demand, passive incomes through subscriptions and sales, scalable across multiple age groups, and there's no code tools that make it possible. Now, let's talk about some cons. You could have a learning curve. If you're not going to sit there and learn how to use the tools, yeah, you might have to learn. I use a dollar. A dollar is not hard, but it was challenging for me. And I think everything is easy. I was like, I don't feel like learning this. And I just didn't feel like learning this. I was like, I don't feel like learning this. Like, I'm not going to use I'm going to use what I use. It's easier for me. Now, I could have sat there and learned how to master a dollar, but I didn't need it because I already knew what I was doing. Okay, so you may have a learning curve. Um, App stores can be extremely competitive, so you got to figure out how to market and think outside of the box. You have to with education, you're probably gonna have to keep on creating content and doing content updates, especially if you create an educational tool. Let's say you create an educational tool for real estate agents. There are laws and regulations that change annually, though, so you got to make sure that your app is up to snuff with that, right? The app still got policies and approval processes. Google is pretty simple. Apple, not so much. So that's a con. Apple is always the toughest, right? And you need to offer some real educational value to gain trust from people. That's just how it is. Now, I can't go through this whole marketing strategy, but it's all on the website. Go to goodmorninggwinnett.com to look at the marketing strategy because once you get the app done, that's the easy part. The tough part then becomes the marketing behind it. Go to goodmorninggwinnett.com. There is a section in section 8 called marketing. Look at the marketing section. This is the business blueprint. That's why I'm doing it. Look at the marketing section and pick the one that you can do. If you can't do all of these, pick one. Pick one, just one. And just go all in on that one and do everything you can. Like for me, Good Morning Gwinnett, my game plan right now is to be out on the street so people can download the app. Because if they download the app, they get the podcast, they get the website, they get the store that I'm going to build. They get everything in that one app. So if I'm out there on the street and people get to know me, they get to see me, talk to me, I get to see them and talk to them, and they can download the app. but they get to understand the brand, something that I have not done before on a large scale. This year, that's the plan. Like right now, starting today, that is my plan. Create the app for the Good Morning Gwinnett, be out on the street. I ordered a tent. I'm telling y'all, I'm not playing games. I ordered me a tent so I can go and be a vendor so people can get to know who I am, what we do at Good Morning Gwinnett. Yes, that is the plan. I have to get out there and be seen because that's a part of my branding. All right. So there are some marketing strategies here, and you may have to do the same thing. You may have to do the exact same thing, but pick the thing that you know you can do. I know that I talk every day. I know that I write every day, but I do not get out into the public where I need to be because it is a hyper local podcast and news site. Like it is. Yeah, I talk about business and all that, but Good Morning Gwinnett was started because it was about Gwinnett County where I live. And yet I'm not out there vending and meeting people. That starts this year. So you have to pick your marketing strategy, one that you can really put your arms around. I was going to use text marketing, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to use text marketing because that could quickly add up. Like you can run out of text in a minute. And I'm like, okay, now I got to up the text. I decided I'm going to relaunch my app because now I'm doing it my way. It looks nicer and it's more functional. So I'm going to redo the app for Good Morning Gwinnett, and then I'm going to go out and I'm going to talk about what I do and vend. So there you have it. Go to the website, goodmorninggwinnett.com. Everything is there. I know I'll be talking to get it all in for y'all. I really do. But I want you to go to the website. I want you to look at everything I've said. Do your research. Do your own research. Find tools. There's so many tools out there, Law. It's thousands. And I'm just talking about the ones that I know. It may be some tools out there that you don't have to really do anything, but just do it. I don't think that's the case now when it comes to a mobile app, but it may be. I don't know. I know that I've used Bolt.new Supabase, and I know that I've used Adalo, and I have my preference to the two. So I love Bolt. Bolt is 30 seconds. You just got to know how to go and connect Supabase. All right, and there's some videos out there to teach you all that stuff. All right, that's all I got for you today. I got to go, but I want to thank you for listening. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you spent the last 31 minutes with me, and I love and appreciate you for that. If you missed any episodes of this show, be sure to go to goodmorninggwinnett.com to listen to past episodes there under the podcast tab. Look at the article. It's right there for you. Go through the article, do your research, sleep on it, pray on it, whatever you got to do, lay on it, but figure out something. It is a great space to be in right now. But you got to set yourself apart from the rest of them. You got competition, I'm sure. You got to find out what's going to make you different. That's what I'm working on the day before I launch the app. All right. I'll be back again tomorrow at 10 a.m. God willing. You guys stay safe out there. And until next time, my friends, make it a great day. Bye, everybody.
That's a wrap for today's episode of the Business Blueprint on Good Morning Gwinnett. Thank you for tuning in and spending time with us. If you found value in today's show, consider supporting us for just $5.99 a month. Every contribution helps keep this content coming your way. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and hit that subscribe button on YouTube at Good Morning Gwinnett for even more great content. And if you know someone who could use this information, share the show with at least 2 friends. Let's grow this community together. Until next time, stay inspired and keep building your blueprint for success.